Hey guys, welcome back. Thank you for tuning in.
Yes, it's nice to have you guys here. I hope everyone's doing well. Happy Saturday.
Hope everyone had a productive week. I sure did. I'm pretty sure. Did you?
Productive? It was all
She was
over.
like, not so much. Don't tell my boss.
No. If you're listening, it was productive, I promise. No. No, not that it wasn't productive. I felt like my week was chaotic, to be honest. Work was good. Work was good. Can't complain about work. I just feel like just family things going on that had me kind of a roller coaster of emotions, which I'm sure you can relate to.
Yeah, for sure.
But how are the kids?
Kids are good. Julia had a play date on Thursday. I don't let her have play dates Monday to Wednesday because if not, literally my house would be bombarded with kids all the time. So obviously Thursday gets off the bus and she's like, Mom, I need to have a play date. I said, okay, fine. Who's coming? Everyone. I said, oh, okay. I said, everyone jumps in the car, we drive back home. And literally, it was just not chaos, but like chaos in a sense. Like, they're good kids, but it's a lot of kids. And
It was a lot.
it was a lot. And they're all under 10. So it's just like jumping off the walls type thing. But they're really good kids. And then today, like, we had a sleepover yesterday. We had a cool, fun sister date, right? And then today was just
The ball kept rolling.
the ball kept rolling. Like the sister day kept going.
And then it just turned into Juliet and Nunique having a sister day, right? That we just
Right?
kind of fell into the background. But then again, we're responsible for them. So everything was like, Tia, mommy. And I'm just like, when are y'all going home?
Do I gotta go home with them? No.
Pack your shit balls. You gotta go.
Oh
Oh
man.
my God.
But yeah, we're all good. I hope everyone else's weekend is going great. You'll be hearing this on Sunday, so I hope all of you have already finished your chores and are just
Or
relaxing.
tours. Jessica
Or
was about to say
tours.
tours.
You want to do a tour around somewhere? Go right ahead. I don't care. I'm done. But I hope everyone's just relaxing. But this week we have a pretty cool topic. What do you think?
Yeah. I feel like it's definitely something I can relate to.
I could definitely relate on my side of the spectrum too, right? Because
You outnumber me, first of all.
well, no. So okay,
First
so
of
let's
all, go
tell
ahead and hit the subject.
let's tell them what the subject is. So we wanted to discuss being single around married people, and then vice versa, right? So married being around single people. Um, so I'll let you start off first. Like, how do you see? What's your perspective on it? Like, do you feel any pressure? What's your take on it?
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I feel like here's the thing though. I I feel like I wasn't the only single one in the crew, right? I definitely had, other people that I could relate to that it was just like, oh yeah, we just everyone had fun. You know what I mean? It was such a good time. It still is, but of course
It's
I'm the
different.
oddball out. But I feel like at first, it was a little complicated just because when Jess did start dating JB, I was just getting out of a relationship, right? And it was so I feel like Jess and I hit a kind of a hard rock, right? Where it was like it was that when I was in my relationship, I feel like Jessica was always tagging along, right? And
I was the third wheel, and I am
okay.
not ashamed.
But you know what? We always made sure to invite her everywhere because we knew that she was single. So it was just like I never felt like she was missing out on anything, and like it was just always the three of us and whoever else was along for the ride. Um, but then when we broke up, Jess started dating JB, and I kind of feel like it wasn't reciprocated, right? And just don't give me that look because damn well
No,
it
I'm
wasn't.
thinking. I'm like trying to go back. That was a lot of years ago.
um, I feel like it wasn't reciprocated, and I felt like I started to feel a lot of resentment towards Jess because kind of like a time where I felt like I needed her the most. Where, dude, I was fucking hurt. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was going through my shit. And what sucks that I'm never one to tell you like, hey, I need you. Like, I kind of if I gotta deal with it on my own, like I'll deal with it on my own. But at the same time, I couldn't be selfish because she was just starting her relationship. Like it's her life too. Like she has to do her thing. Um, but whatever, that happened, and
I'm sorry.
okay, girl, don't get deep.
No, I was just like, this is the first time you're really bringing this up, and I'm just like, oh, well, like, I, and it's like I know what you mean when you were like, you're starting off a relationship because like you fall in love, and like you're so like hyper focused on that person, like what I mean, like I want to make this work,
Right, but you should.
And I know, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it's just like, damn, like I totally dropped the ball with you, and I'm like, you never brought this up until right now, so I'm just like, oh damn, like my bad, I'm sorry. Well, like I'm good that you're good now, right?
I still have trauma. No, but no hard feelings. I'm over it. But yeah, during that time, and I feel like Jess and I just were not clicking at all, and it sucked. Like I was just like, okay, I just lost a relationship. Now I feel like I'm losing my sister, but she's gaining someone else. And I just felt alone. Like it really sucked. Like if you're going through that, I feel for you. I feel for you on 1,000, but it does get better because eventually I did end up building a relationship with not only JB, but I ended up gaining so many friends that were JB's friends and your friends that are now mine. But back to the topic.
Like, do you feel pressure from like the friends, the family, and stuff like that? Like now being around. Like, obviously, like, we're married, right? So, like, do you feel, like, any type of way? Because I know...
I don't anymore.
Because not all of our cousins are married. Like, the majority. But not all of them. And not all of them are in relationships either.
Right. Not anymore. I feel like before I did because... I'll be honest with you. I'm not a dater. You know what I mean? It's just not me. And as much as... Oh, my God. And I was just telling Jess this a couple months ago. I feel like... Not that I get attacked, but I do feel like, and I know it's people's best intentions, right? Like, I know they have good intentions when they're just like, you need to put yourself out there. Go to a bar. Go do this. That's not who I am. And I get it. I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, that's just not me. I'm a very, like, I guess I'm old school. Maybe I'm just like, I'm an old soul. I don't know what it is, but that's just not me. I have fun doing that with other people where it's a group of us, we'll go to a bar, have a good time, but I'm not going to do it. You know what I mean? That's just not me. But either way, back to feeling the pressure, I feel like growing up, I guess I'm a very, what do you call that? Like a person who loves to take care of the home and like just...
You're domesticated.
I guess I'm a domesticated gal, right? But either way, I remember my dad always saying, or like my grandma, like, Erika va a ser la primera que me va a dar nieto y que se va a casar. Always. I always got that, right?
Because let me tell you something, right? And I always said, my mom used to try to get me into the kitchen. Oh my God. All the time. Jessica, you have to learn to cook. And there's no man that's going to, like men like love that you cook and stuff like that. Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I can clean a house. That's not a big deal. But the kitchen just didn't call my attention. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's people that, like you, that you literally enjoy being in the kitchen, cooking and stuff like that. Like, I do it now, obviously, but it's like...
It's a chore.
I have to do it. Like, obviously, if I don't do it, then no one's going to eat. Like, I have kids. I got people to take care of. I got a husband. But I always said, like, Ma, I'm going to marry somebody that knows how to cook. And let me tell you something. JB may not be throwing it down every single day, but he could throw it down when he throw it down.
Speaking of JB, I mean? If you're hearing this, some stir fry sounds pretty freaking good right now.
But so that's what I'm saying. I'm like, Ma, like, you was wrong. People out there men these days know how to cook.
Right. But they were also wrong about me.
They were wrong about you too, so they're wrong about a lot.
No, but going back to feeling the pressure, right? I feel like once that relationship ended, right? And then you got into a relationship. I had other people around me that were previously single getting into a relationship. And then I got into
getting married.
Right. I got into a relationship after that again, right? But then it just became like kind of like, and it sucks to say, but it was just like, I don't feel like it got to the point where it was just like, okay, what's the next step? You know what I mean? Like we were just kind of living, and it bothered me, right? And it took a fucking while for it to bother me, but it bothered me because I know that that's not who I am. And one day I do want to get married and I do want to have kids and whatever. But I'm so glad that I don't feel the pressure, and I feel like I don't feel the pressure anymore because I know exactly what I want now. You know what I mean? And I'm not willing to settle. Oh.
Well, you shouldn't settle because you are a diamond, and any man would be lucky to have you.
I'll be getting emotional. No, but I think a big part of you feeling the pressure is you living for other people.
Yeah, for sure.
And I feel like I lived so much of my life living for other people. Whether it's just like, you know what, they want to see me doing this, let me find a way to pursue that. And I wasn't fueling my soul. I wasn't feeding my soul. And I feel like I'm at a place right now that if someone were to tell me, and I still hear it to this day, Erika, ¿cuándo que tú vas a tener muchacho? Erika, tú tienes que encontrarte un nombre. Erika, it doesn't bother me anymore. And I feel like it used to bother me because I was living for you. I wanted to make you happy.
Mm-hmm.
But now you say that to me, and I'm like, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
Not yet. Not yet. No one deserves me yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm fine with that. And even though I get emotional because it's my growth. You know what I mean? And it took me a damn fucking while to get here.
Well, that's like a journey all, like you said, it's like a journey all of on its own. It's like after you, and especially you, because your relationship was a long relationship, and even the relationship after that, like, you know what I mean? Like, they were long, and it's like you need to also come out of there, find yourself, find where you're comfortable with yourself, learn to love yourself. You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of the older generation doesn't see it that way. Like, I feel like now you would tell me that, and I completely understand and comprehend it. Like, you would tell our cousins, and I completely comprehend it. But I get it. And it's like you're saying, you are a diamond, and the man that's for you is gonna come knocking at that door. Maybe it's the mailman. Maybe it's Amazon. Maybe it's Amazon since you order from there so much.
But no, back to a more serious note. I think also being around married people, because everyone in my circle, I'm gonna say, is married.
Yeah. At
they
this point, yeah.
recently married, have been married, and I'm so happy for all of you. Yay! But it's also inspiring. You know what I mean? The same way that I spoke in our first episode, where it's so amazing to see your sister become a mom. It's amazing to see your sister become a wife, because, baby girl, I was worried for you. No shade.
Well, that's nothing. My parents I don't even want to say this. After I had kids and my dad sees that I'm doing a good job raising my kids, he starts telling people that he thought that I was going to be, like, he thought that I was going to, like, neglect my children because I used to always be a couch potato and sleep during my teenage years on the couch and never wanted to do anything. But I'm just like, that's what teenagers do. Like, we ain't in the campo. I don't need to go, like, cut the grass. I don't know, like, do things like you
yeah,
did.
He does say that now. He does say every time that, he sees Jess with, her circus. He does say, even when she's not around, like, wow, like, I applaud Jess. Like, JB too, they're amazing parents.
But sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but I don't want to lose my train of thought, right? So, I'm, like, reversing it, right? And now me looking as a married woman looking at you like a single person, right? You say how you say that I inspired you to eventually be married, be happy in a relationship where you have children, you build a family for yourself. I see you and how much you focus on yourself and your happiness, and I become inspired. So it's like, I don't even think you see, that. I don't think I've ever told you that. But it inspires me to be better for myself. Because oh my God, now I'm going to get emotional. What the hell? No, this is not supposed to happen. This is not supposed to happen. But I will say one that I lose myself so quickly in, like, little things. Like, anxiety is completely, like, shot. Like, it's crazy. But you take so good care of yourself, and you focus so much on your happiness, and just, like, you do the little things for yourself. You know what I mean? And that inspires me to do it for myself, to make sure that I'm always loving on myself the way that you love on yourself.
Girl, the days that you don't got it, I'm gonna be there bringing it to you. Okay?
No, but you know what I mean? Like, it's like, they can't say that being married is the ultimate goal. It's not. You know what I mean? Because you could be in a loveless marriage. You having kids is the ultimate goal. It's not. You know what I mean? For some people, yeah. But at the end of the day, the goal should be to love yourself so that you could love others, right? And I feel like you are my inspiration for that. Like, whether you just like, hey, like I started doing this for, I bought this for myself to skincare, like just your wellness, going to the gym, and just doing things for yourself that truly just make you happy. Like, shoot, my cup gets filled just talking to you on the phone, and JB might be like, what are you talking to her on the phone so much? And I'm just like, yo, she's doing things. Like, you know what I mean? But like, you make yourself happy, and I want to get back to that point. Like, obviously my life right now is so filled with different things. Like, I'm getting pulled to so many different directions that sometimes I lose focus on myself. And I'm pretty sure any mom or wife could pretty much agree with that you spread yourself, so thin to help the others around you, that sometimes you lose focus on yourself. And I know, and I tell JB this all the time, and I know that it's just a season. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, right now is my season of chaos. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying chaos in a bad way. I'm saying chaos where I have these 3 beautiful little children. I have this wonderful husband that we're still building our relationship. Like, just because you're married doesn't mean your relationship, your growth of your relationship stops. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But like, seeing you as a single person, and then like seeing you venture out and like date, like even when you do start dating, like when you start dating, I'm gonna be able to see like, yo, she's doing it for herself. You know what I mean? She's finding love for herself, which is what I did. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I never, like, my typical guy wasn't the guy that mommy and papi were going to show to me. You know what I mean? Like, I found the guy that was going to suit me. And me seeing you do that fills my cup, even though you probably never know it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like the same, like, with you, like, I see that, but even with like my other single cousins or my other single, like, even like Gabby, you on here, but like Gabby, like, yo, Gabby goes out and does stuff and hangs out with her friends. Like, that to me is just like, yo, that's awesome. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you could go out with your friends and have a drink and just be happy. Mm-hmm. Like, just being.
It's not doing it to prove to anyone.
It
fuels your soul.
It fuels your soul. Like, that to me is inspiration. Like I said, because right now I'm in the season where I don't have that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yes, and I could go out and have a couple drinks, but I have a lot of responsibility to come home to. You know what I mean? But seeing you guys just live life to the fullest and do things that literally just bring you joy inspires me to get back to that. Whether it's doing one little thing a day. Like, I just bought some skincare inspired by who? My sister. You know? But every day I put it on, it literally reminds me of you. And it brings me a little bit of happiness because I look at my face and I be like, oh, I'm glowing today. Literally call her on FaceTime with my cup of coffee and I'm just like, look at me. Just look at you. You don't even have to say anything. Just look at me.
If there's one thing I can say, ladies and gentlemen, please take care of your skin. Please. And I don't mean just putting on moisturizer. Please use a proper cleanser. Please put sunscreen on. If there's anything I can emphasize, please put sunscreen on. It's so important.
Yeah, that's very true.
But back to our topic. Yeah, it's nice that I can proudly say I do not feel pressure to get married at all. And I feel like I once lived there, and it's a place that I do not want to go back to, because when you feel that pressure,
it changes things.
You start to distance yourself from people. Why? Because you don't want that constant reminder. You don't want to live in that space where it's just like it's bringing you down. It's bringing you down because, not for nothing, I went from a relationship where I thought that was the next step. You know what I mean? And it didn't happen, and I'm okay with that. It took me a while. But I'm okay, and I know that whatever chapter is next for me, it's okay, I've learned to fucking love my life. You know what I mean? Whether I'm not understanding it, whether I'm a little confused. Like, you know what I mean? That I'm just like, what's the next step? What's the next step? Whatever the next step is, I'm welcoming it.
Yeah,
You
but
know?
it's also you questioning yourself, not necessarily hearing it from someone else. Like it's you being ready to get to the next level. Like I feel like once you start questioning yourself, like, okay, Erika, what's next? Is because you've done the work for the past levels. You know what I mean? Like you're ready to take that next step. So that's I feel like that's why it's the questions being asked, even if it's internally. Because if it wasn't, if you weren't ready for it, you wouldn't be asking because you'd be too scared. Internally, you would be too scared to even think about what's next. You know.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that was.
I think one thing that used to bother me before, right? And maybe I'm not the only one that goes through this, is I feel like when you go from being in a relationship to being single, right? You have to start planning for yourself, right? I feel like when you're in a relationship, you plan what's our future, right? You go back and you're just like, okay, like what's next for me as an individual? And I think it's so scary when you get to a point that you don't know. You don't know what you want. You don't know where you want to live. You don't know who you want to be around. You don't know if your job is really fulfilling you. You know what I mean? But I feel like I'm at a point right now where I I have my steps lined up. You know what I mean? Where it's just like this is next, this is next, this is next. Whether which one comes first, I don't know. God line it up for me though. But I have them lined up, and I think that's a beautiful thing to have is when you are looking forward to the future. You know what I mean? And you do get excited making plans for what? Yourself. And if someone else is to join you, then it becomes us. And you start planning for you guys.
Yeah.
But planning for you is a beautiful thing too. And to anyone who can relate to me, if you ever felt lost, you will find your light. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, ooh.
No, you do, and I see it, man. I see it. Like I told you, and I've had conversations with you, and I tell you all the time. I said, dude, I said, you're who. To know you is to love you, right? Because I have yet to meet someone who's literally like, yo, I can't say Erika, like whatever, you know.
I can name a few.
But what I'm saying is, the person that you will eventually be with, whether it be tomorrow, 3 months from now, 3 years from now, whenever it be, has to be a person who loves you for the light that you bring naturally. You know what I mean? Like, you are such a joyous person. And the last thing I would want in this world is for you to end up with someone who is intimidated by that. You know what I mean? Because everyone that I know, that's the part of you that literally just like, damn, that's Erika. Like, you know what I mean? And I get it. Everyone has their day. So I'm not saying you have to have a bright light every single day. But your soul, like your aura, right? Like your aura, that's what it is, is a very calming aura. You know? Yeah. Like it's something that's inviting. That's what it is. Like it's inviting, calm aura where a lot of people would be intimidated by that. So I just, my wish to you in the future is the person who enters your life is the person who matches your aura or that balances it out or that adds to it. Never someone who's going to be intimidated, subtract from it, and just make you feel like you need to change or little yourself for that person.
Yeah. Amen. Papá Dios, si tú estás escuchando, no me lleves todavía. Tenemos planes. But yeah, I think
this conversation turned more into being single around married people.
Yeah, it's just, and maybe, you know what? I think if you compare, if you could say, okay, this conversation is going to be single around married people and married people around single. I'm going to be honest. I think the only way you can compare a marriage to a single person is if you're not happy in your marriage. And the reason I say that is because I feel like when you find your person, you no longer crave whatever a single person has.
100%.
If anything, we crave what you have.
Yeah. So, like, on that note, right? am inspired by you, like I mentioned before, to take care of myself, right? And I mentioned Gabby earlier and her going out and having fun and doing things for herself. But I don't crave to do things without JP.
And that's a beautiful thing to have.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, hey, I want to go out for a drink, but with you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, honestly, like, enjoy his company so much. And it's so weird to even think about it because it's just like, yeah, girl, go out and do something for yourself. And I'm just like, but I want to do it with you. Like, I honestly do love his company.
And do you know what? I can honestly say, right?
You love his company too. Stop it.
All right, now you're speaking a little too far. No, I'm kidding. I can honestly say that it's just like watching Jess, right? I've seen Jess in relationships, but watching.
Oh, what a shit show.
What? I'm not gonna deny it. But seriously, you with JB is like, dude, it's just like, damn, yo, like, I'm so fucking happy for you. Like, and I'm talking about you and JB, but I can honestly say everyone in our circle who is married, and I'm talking about, you know, like our cousins and like our friends, I can honestly say that it's just like, so fucking happy for you guys. Like, it's just like, I can't say that there's one couple around me that I'm just like, damn, how the fuck are they gonna make it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is great. Because I feel like, not for nothing, like, we see older relationships, you know what I mean? And I'm not just talking about like our family, but I'm people that we know, that it's just like, damn, yo, like, I know y'all been done dirty, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But thankfully, it's just like, I don't see that around us. Thank God, knock on wood.
But I will say something too. It's just like after this conversation, and I feel like a lot of things that you said today are a lot of things that you really haven't. We haven't had this type of conversation. Like this is a real conversation. Like this, we haven't had a conversation like this before. And I'm gonna say I'm very happy for you where you are too. Like honestly, like I agree with everyone that's married, and like I enjoy seeing all of our friends and cousins and other acquaintances relationships flourish, because that's what we want, right? But hearing you talk right now brings me joy, because I feel like I'm one of those people that be like, I gotta go, yo, like this guy's hot, like, you know, whatever. But it brings me joy to hear that you have that peace inside. You know what I mean?
I really feel at peace. And don't get me wrong, I have my days where it's just like, I'm not as happy as maybe I'm feeling today, you know? But let me tell you guys something. I am a very joyous, I love to bring laughter to people. But I have been through my effing dark times, okay? And the one thing that I can say is I made it through.
You found the light at the end of the tunnel.
I found the light. And it's an amazing thing to have. And I will repeat it again. Anyone who's in a dark time,
it's okay. Just think about where you are now, because look at it.
Anyone who's going through a dark time, no matter what it is, and I'm not just only speaking about relationships. Someone loves you. Someone wants the best for you. Want the best for yourself, and everything will work out. Maybe not at the time that you want it, but it will work out for you. I will tell you that from experience. Ooh. Let's chat about it. Got deep today.
Ooh. But guys, we are about ready to wrap this up. I have to go give my sister a big hug. I hope you guys enjoyed. But we will see you guys next week. Hope everyone has a productive and wonderful week. See you on Sunday. Bye.